Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano says the feud between Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez and Davao del Norte Representative Antonio Florendo Jr. will help boost the impeachment complaint against President Rodrigo Duterte. Alejano, who filed the supplemental impeachment complaint against the president Thursday, said the bickering party mates of Duterte pointed to cracks in the ruling PDP Laban. Alejano filed the first impeachment complaint against Duterte, accusing the president of culpable violation of the Constitution, bribery, betrayal of public trust, graft and corruption, and other high crimes. The rift between the former close friends Alvarez and Florendo was confirmed after the speaker filed a graft complaint against the latter for his alleged unlawful business interest in an old government deal with Tagum Agricultural Development Corporation, a company owned by Florendo. Alvarez also called for a probe into the alleged anomalous joint venture agreement between the Bureau of Corrections and TEDECO. The friendship of the two Davao lawmakers allegedly turned sour after their girlfriends had a verbal spat last year. But Alvarez says his complaints against Florendo have nothing to do with personal matters. The Philippines on Thursday says it will raise Beijing's reclamation activities in the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea when the two countries begin one-on-one talks in May. Foreign Secretary Enrico Manalo in a television interview says the Philippines will ask China why it built the artificial islands. Manalo says, quote, "I can't divulge exactly how we'll say it, but we will be pointing out that these are constructions taking place on islands within our EEZ." Manila and Beijing will hold a meeting in May of the bilateral mechanism set up to properly handle the sea dispute. The planned bilateral talks in May also come nearly a year after the Philippines won a historic case against China over the West Philippine Sea. President Rodrigo Duterte earlier said he will not raise hell about the ruling for now, but, quote, "There will come a time to confront China about it." Former Social Welfare Secretary Dinky Soliman files a letter of complaint against Social Welfare Assistant Secretary Lorraine Badoy over the latter's child porn remark to the European Union. In her letter filed before the Civil Service Commission Thursday, Soliman cites Section 4 of the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees. It says, quote, "Public officials and employees shall perform and discharge their duties with the highest degree of excellence, professionalism, intelligence, and skill." Soliman, who served under the Aquino administration, said this law prohibits public officials from saying whatever they want publicly. Badoy is under fire for sarcastically telling the EU to go back to watching child porn after criticizing President Rodrigo Duterte. Soliman says Badoy committed an injustice to children when she told the EU to watch child porn even as a joke. On Facebook, Badoy downplays the complaint, saying it won't land her in jail. Badoy says, quote, "If worst comes to worst, all that ever happens to me is I lose this job." Vice President Leni Robredo flies to South Africa Thursday afternoon to address a conference for women. Robredo, who was invited as a keynote speaker in the conference, will also attend a roundtable discussion on corruption with the South African Parliament. Joining Robredo in the delegation are lawmakers who are mostly members of the Liberal Party, including its president, Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Robredo's trip to Africa coincides with Palit Bise, or Change the Vice, a rally organized by President Rodrigo Duterte's supporters on April 2. No less than Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez said he is studying if Robredo can be impeached for a video message at the United Nations event criticizing the Duterte administration's war on drugs. The European Union vows to unite hours after Britain formally started a process to end its 44-year membership of the EU. European Commission head Jean-Claude Juncker says the rights of EU citizens will be top of the agenda of the Brexit negotiations. Settling Britain's exit bill, estimated by the Commission to be 60 billion euros or $64 billion, will also be a priority when talks start, expected mid to late May. EU President Donald Tusk bid farewell to Britain Wednesday after receiving the British government's divorce letter, triggering Article 50 of the EU's Lisbon Treaty.